I swear I didn't put on a Spider-Man shirt because Andrew Garfield is in this episode. I swear I just picked this out randomly this morning, so don't worry. Just a coincidence. Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Doctor Who. I'm shaking the camera all crazy like because it's on my desk and I can do that. Last time on Doctor Who, we had Daleks in Manhattan. I was like, it's something about Daleks. It's like, yeah, Daleks in Manhattan. The Doctor and Martha went back to 1930s New York, and we met up with some interesting and colorful characters, one of them being played by Andrew Garfield. This is my horrible New York accent. As you can tell, it's a bit more southern than I suppose it should be. Actually, that was very southern. I'm horrible at that. Never been to New York, so I don't know the proper New York accent. My hair is bugging me. Whatever. So yeah, New York. The Daleks are trying to build the Empire State Building for some reason, and then Dalek SEC, because these are specifically Daleks from the cult of Skaro. Dalek SEC has evolved into a human Dalek, which is weird. Very, very weird. And I'm curious to see how that all plays out in this episode. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. Let's please keep the comments focused to this episode and previous episodes of both Torchwood and Doctor Who that I have reacted to. I switch those again. I try to say whatever show I'm currently reacting to, like right now. First, so I was supposed to say Doctor Who and Torchwood, but I ended up saying Torchwood and Doctor Who. Whatever. Yeah. Let's watch the show.
We wanted for mankind, which is ambition, hatred, such a genius for war.
No, that's not what humanity means.
I think it does.
It's part of humanity.
This species,
The darker
so
side.
very Dalek.
All right, so what do you achieve
Interesting.
then?
Noise.
Clever. They're too busy protecting Dalek SEC. How interesting. Oh, they got one of those weird crotch cans on a Dalek. That's funny.
We were created to follow him, but you have doubts.
They're doubting Dalek SEC.
Affirmative.
Wow. Dissension in the ranks. I love it.
They're just the foot soldiers.
Is it the Daleks?
Oh my god.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
For all their faults, they have such courage.
From what I hear, you're outcast too.
He admires them.
Doctor, this is my time. Hope that maybe together we can make a better tomorrow.
Well,
So
that
I beg you now.
is that going to work on SEC?
If you have
He didn't like that.
I do not understand. It is the Doctor.
But I want him alive.
The urge to
Why?
kill.
I've got to go. The Daleks just changed their minds. Daleks never change their minds.
He's got to see that.
If I come with you, you spare the lives of everyone here! Do you hear me?
Obey the doctor.
Ooh.
Humans will be spared.
Obey the doctor. That's got to eat them up.
But their flesh was too weak.
Yeah, I found one of your experiments. Just left to die out there in the
Oh,
dark.
It
okay.
forced us to conclude what is the greatest resource
That was
of
a
this
Dalek
planet.
embryo.
It's people.
Removing the emotions makes you stronger. That's what your creator thought all those years ago.
He
Yeah.
was wrong.
Whoever that guy is.
It makes us lesser than our enemies. We must
Wow.
return to the flesh.
When's that solar flare?
11 minutes.
Right then.
He's gonna do it?
Better get to work.
Is he gonna do it, or is he gonna screw with it and wipe them out?
Look at this place.
Because I don't see him.
Top of the world.
I don't see him restarting the Dalek race. And there's the Chrysler Building. You guys told me it was the Chrysler Building. Thank you for that.
New York
I don't
City.
know New York.
If aliens had to come to Earth, oh, no wonder they came here.
It's a good-looking town, I will say. Good-looking. Looks better than London.
Right idea in the right place at the right time, that's all it takes. I've got to believe it's possible.
I don't know. Someone's double-crossing someone.
Keep an eye out.
There's no future for me and him. Those Dalek things took that away. The one good thing I had in my life, and they destroyed it.
That's a very Dalek thing to do.
They're overriding the gene feed. Impossible. They cannot disobey orders.
Oh, they can, and they did.
We'll step away from the controls.
They are not doing
Will not
that.
fire.
He is an enemy of the Daleks, and so are you.
I am your commander. There's the lift.
After you.
Out of breath. It's nothing. We've escaped them, Doctor. That's all that matters.
He's dying. It's that lifespan.
You told us to imagine, and we imagined your irrelevance.
Our leader.
6 minutes to go. I've got to remove the Dalek ending before the gamma radiation hit.
Gamma radiation? What the heck is that?
Can we take all of them as companions? That would be so much fun.
That's high.
Gamma strike 4 minutes and counting.
Call the TARDIS. Use the key. I still remember that key from episode 8. This is totally a Back to the Future kind of thing. Gotta climb to the top to do the thing.
Take the lift, find the doctor, kill him.
You know, earlier when Laszlo said lift, he should have said elevator, because that's what we say in the United States.
Should have brought that gun.
Lightning!
What about it? Okay, that's 2.
Great big bolt of lightning electricity all down the building. Connect this to the lift and they get zapped.
Oh my god, that could work!
Then give us a hand.
Yeah. That is brutal, though. Oh, crap. Ah. Damn. Damn. It won't work. Can he absorb the gamma, I wonder? Is he gonna try that? Wow, that actually worked. Good job. Ew, that's gotta suck. Uh-oh. They're alive. But are they Dalek?
Excellent. Begin the invasion of Manhattan. The population will
crap,
be
the invasion of
converted
Manhattan.
into Daleks.
We need, like,
And
the
from
Avengers
this island, we will
in the
conquer
30s.
the world.
Oh my gosh, they outfitted Dalek laser guns. Holy crap, that's awesome.
Is there another lift? We came up with the service elevator.
That'll do. And Halsey?
Hey! Been a while since he said that.
Traitors.
Well, that's 3 of them, but where's the last one? Man, he just calmly walked across that.
That's the beginning. Exterminate!
And that's the end of Dalek SEC.
Your own leader. Give the command.
Exterminate! Exterminate!
They can't.
Obey!
They're still human.
Will obey!
I got in the way of the lightning strike.
They're...
Time Lord DNA got all mixed up.
They're
Just that little bit of
Time
freedom.
Lords.
They will not exterminate.
Oh, they didn't give them the good lasers. Dang it. Oh, man. Oh, okay, you got one. You got both.
The Dalek humans are failures. Destruct! Destruct! Destruct!
Aw, man.
In the whole universe,
The last of the Daleks.
just one.
Where have I heard that before? Oh.
Now what? And now the cult of Skaro has been eradicated, leaving only you.
There's no Rose to stop him from ending you.
Right now, you're facing the only man in the universe who might show you some compassion.
Really?
Because I've just seen one genocide. I
Really?
won't cause another.
Doctor! Doctor!
Well, they survived again.
What do I need? Oh, I don't know. How about a great big genetic laboratory? Oh, look, I've got one.
That's a good point.
Laszlo?
Yeah.
Just you hold on. There's been too many deaths today. Way too many people have died. Brand new
He's
creatures,
gonna try.
wise old men and age-old men.
Anywhere else in the universe I might worry about them, but New York's what this city's good at. You're tired, you're
Yeah.
poor, you're huddled masses, and maybe the odd pig-slave Dalek mutant hybrid too.
The pig and the showgirl.
The pig and the showgirl.
Just proves it, I suppose.
That sounds like a Broadway
Someone
musical.
for everyone. Think you'll ever see it again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
They will always cross paths.
One day.
Holy Toledo. That was Evolution of the Daleks. Ooh, boy. That was a lot, man. I took down so many notes. 8. I took down 8 notes. 8 friggin' notes. We're gonna talk about all of them. So. Okay. Trying to gather my thoughts real quick. Yeah, that's my excuse for brushing my hair. So, anyway. Okay, humanity. That's very interesting that Dalek SEC wanted... He was trying to find the humanity. His whole plan was very interesting. Becoming a human Dalek. Which, I like that they said at the end that the new things that they created were Dalek humans. I like that. I like the distinction. Because it definitely seems like what they tried to create at the end were new Daleks in human form. Whereas... like, they were more Dalek, even though eventually they were revealed to be more Time Lord. Excuse me, yeesh. But Sec was trying to make a human Dalek. It was more human than it was Dalek because he saw all the failures of the Daleks and realized that if the Daleks continue in their ways, they're going to be stuck, and eventually they're just going to die out, all of them. Which they kind of almost all did. The only one that survived was Dalek Khan, which I love that name. But it's interesting also that he's still trying to preserve the Daleks, and he's basically trying to keep the Daleks going. But in order to do that, he finds that humanity is very similar to the Daleks. You know, he was talking about the anger, the war, and stuff like that. Like, this inhumanity is the new Dalek race. That's very interesting. Because I find it interesting in sci-fi when, like, humanity and stuff like that is such a big selling point. Like, have you ever thought about that? Like, in some sci-fi, in a lot of sci-fi, like, why do the humans keep going? Well, there's something special about those humans. Like, that happens in a lot of fiction. In Star Trek, in, like, the Avengers and stuff like that. It's like, there's something about humans, and part of that is the humanity. There's something about humans that's different from everyone else in the entire universe, which I think is a load of crap. I don't think... Now, you know, you can get into a whole debate on, is there alien life in the real world? I'm sure there is. We just haven't run into it yet. But do I believe that if we go out into space and we find new life, that we're never going to find we're never going to find people that are like humans? No. Bullcrap. I don't get that. I don't get this thing in sci-fi where it's like humans have this, there's something special about humans, which I get the point of the message is that, you know, the point of these messages is that, you know, we're seeing all this huge sci-fi stuff, all this fantastical stuff out in the cosmos, but we gotta remember that humans are special. It's a way of comforting ourselves and making us feel important. I don't believe that that there's something about us that makes us better than everyone else. Like, that's the thing in sci-fi. So, but I like here that what he's saying is like, yes, there is something special about humans. Because you're freaking angry, pissed off, war-hungry all the time. That's Dalek. But that's the thing, is that it's not that he's like, there's something special about humans that the Daleks need. It's like, no, he just says that humans are very similar to Daleks, which is very fascinating. So I like that. And I like sort of the respect he has for humans. Like, Sec didn't want Solomon to die. He said, no, he had courage. That was good, and stuff like that. And even the Doctor took note of this, like, how is a Dalek thinking any of this? This is so not Dalek. So that was also interesting. And the fact that Dalek SEC went so far as to enlist the Daleks' greatest enemy to restart the Dalek race. That is crazy. That's so not Dalek. So that's really interesting. I wrote down embryo, which kind of ties into my a later point I have. They said that one of their first experiments was to create just new Daleks, just straight up new Daleks. And so they started creating Dalek embryos, but that didn't work. They said like their skin was too soft, so they ended up dying. And the Doctor said, it's like, yes, I found one of those, and that was the gooey jellyfish thing in the last episode. Which is interesting that they tried that. So here's my thing. Why didn't they do what the Emperor did in the Parting of the Ways? Because supposedly, now this is the thing, is that you have to really say supposedly in this. But supposedly, after the Time War, there was one Dalek. That was it. And it died off in Dalek in Series 1. Flash forward to the end of Series 1, while the Emperor's here, and he has a ton of Daleks, millions and millions of them. And it's like, well, where did all these Daleks come from? I thought, the one that died in Episode 6 was the last one. And the Emperor said, it's like, well, I took all, like, the horrible rejects of Earth, like, the deceased, the criminals, and stuff like that. I took all those people, and I turned them into Daleks. So why doesn't the Cult of Skaro do that? Because it could work. The only reason didn't work for the Emperor was because Rose absorbed the time vortex. But why wouldn't that work? Unless that's what they were trying to do with the embryos. So why wouldn't it work then? Why is it that the embryos all died off? Because it seems like that's what they were planning on doing, was just making new Daleks like the Emperor did. Granted, they wouldn't know exactly what the Emperor did, I guess, because they didn't even know that the Emperor survived. Like in Doomsday, they said, it's like, the Emperor survived? And Rose was like, till he met me. So, that was interesting. I wrote down creator just as a quick side note. Like, it'll be interesting if we find out more about the creator of the Daleks. I think some of you guys have said, like, they explore that in classic Doctor Who. Like, the creator of the Daleks, so that'll be interesting. Dissension, that was very interesting that they ended up not following Sec's orders and ended up betraying and killing him, that was really interesting, and I like that, and that was mostly because, yes, they are the Cult of Skaro, and they were specifically designed to imagine new ways for the Dalek race to survive and become superior. That is not what they planned on doing. That is so not Dalek that they're like, alright, Sec has lost his mind, we need to get rid of this dude, we are not going through with his plans. So, that was interesting. We already talked about Emperor. New Daleks, that was also interesting, because at first they seemed just like new Daleks, where they were Daleks, but they were just in humans. So, they were in the bodies of humans just straight up, and it wasn't like Dalek SEC. So, that was interesting. And I'm wondering, because it looked like they outfitted Uzis with, like, the little shooter on the Daleks, so they have, like, a Dalek gun, which is pretty cool. It makes it just a laser gun, but, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm wondering, like, what was the plan afterwards? Like, because they said, like, okay, we're going to conquer the island of Manhattan, and then we're going to conquer the world. First Manhattan, and then the world. So, that was cool, but was their plan just to use these guys? Because they really couldn't do anything else, I don't think. They really couldn't do anything else because they had to make these with the solar flare. So they had all those. Were they eventually going to transform them into Daleks with the full shells, or were they just going to leave them the way they were? I have no idea, and we won't know because they were Time Lords. That was interesting. See, I thought what the Doctor was going to do when he jumped up and just kind of grabbed onto the pole, I thought he was going to absorb all the gamma radiation. Because that makes sense. He can do that. Like, in Smith and Jones. I forgot what it was called for a second. But in Smith and Jones, like, he amped up the radiation in the X-ray lab, like, super far, so there was a lot of radiation to kill the leather dude, and then he just absorbed all the radiation into his body, and then just kind of expelled it, like, out of his foot into, like, just one little thing that wouldn't cause any problems. So, I thought that's what he was going to do, but instead, he made it to where now they aren't Daleks, they're Time Lords, which was interesting. A new Time Lord human species, which is interesting, and it's unfortunate that they all got wiped out, but, yeah. And then the last thing I wrote down was Dalek Khan. Ooh, I love that name. It's because I'm a Star Trek guy. Anytime the name Khan shows up, I'm like, ooh, Khan. What's their deal? So Dalek Khan. That sounds awesome, and it'll be interesting to see. Because I guess, like, they're doing the whole thing as he's the last Dalek in the universe. I don't believe that for a second. Because we had that in episode 6, and then it died. And then we had the Emperor, and then it died. And then we had the Cult of Skaro. Most of them died except for now Dalek Khan. So it'll be interesting to see what Dalek Khan does now. And I assume that Dalek Khan is not going to be back until next series, but I don't know, because I don't think we're going to do another series finale with the Daleks. At least, I wouldn't think they would do that for a third time in a row. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like, when Dalek Con comes back. Maybe they won't even do a Dalek story with Dalek Con, like, immediately. Like maybe the next couple Dalek stories are just other Daleks. And then later, maybe even with a different Doctor, we come back. It's like, oh yeah, Dalek Khan. What happened to that guy? Well, this is what happened. So that'd be interesting. That's basically all I wrote. I really like this episode, and I really like both of these episodes. They were really good. They were really, really good, and I really, really liked them. And it'll be interesting to see where we go from here with Doctor Who, and eventually where we go with the Daleks. So, yeah, that is basically that. A bunch of you guys in the comments of the last episode said I need to watch Genesis of the Daleks, which is a classic Doctor Who serial. Well, I just wanted to say that I will be watching Genesis of the Daleks this December with Dad. He'll be back from the other classic Doctor Who reaction we did. And in December, between the Series 4 Christmas special and the normal Series 4, we're going to be actually doing 4 classic Doctor Who reactions. The first is the Daleks. It's the second serial, basically, for the first Doctor. We're going to be doing Tomb of the Cybermen. I think that's the second Doctor. Terror of the Autons. I believe that's the third Doctor. And finally, we'll be wrapping things up with Genesis of the Daleks, which I believe is the fourth Doctor. So all you guys that were, saying like you need to watch Genesis of the Daleks, it's like I will, but with Dad, and it's going to be later. And that's basically because when we do Classic Who for a while, it basically is to line up Doctor Who more properly with like Torchwood and stuff like that. That's why we did a classic Doctor Who reaction when we did, was because we needed this, Series 1 of Torchwood to line up better with this series of Doctor Who. And so you guys also don't have to worry about that. I will be finishing Torchwood Series 1 before I get to episode 11 of Series 3, so don't worry about that. I've got it all covered. I've got a whole master list of how I'm going to be watching Doctor Who and stuff. So, yeah. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Doctor Who reactions, you can click on the full playlist down here. I've got some other videos you can check out if you want to watch those. I've got the subscribe button if you haven't done that already, and you can follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.